Hello and welcome to the 8th plot. I am upstairs studios and I run this town now. So,
what are you guys doing? This
Mark-
is my channel.
Mark,
Since one.
I believe we performed a coup last week. 2 weeks ago, in fact.
Is it 2 weeks?
And I now run the 8th plot.
It's true.
No, look, guys. I'm pretty sure it was just temporary.
Since when is democracy temporary?
What?
What?
Democracy is supposed to be temporary. One person runs for a term and then gets. Touche. I think your vote no longer counts.
Well, this is no longer a democracy. This is now a dictatorship.
Can I have my channel back, please?
Tell you what, I'll let you host. Okay?
Thank you. Change places, please.
You're welcome.
Right, after that bit of unpleasantness...
I hate how scripted that was.
That was not scripted, that was all ad-libbed. And now I'm back in charge of my own channel, which I have the password for, and you guys don't.
We'll torture him out of him later.
That's if I remember it. This is why I rely on my computer to remember it. I shouldn't have told you that.
And we'll just steal your computer.
That's a good point. Oh, I'm undone. Anyway, let's get into this week's episode, which, as you gentlemen know, is Ready Player One.
Do I know?
I told you this like 2 weeks ago.
When?
Actually, this was your idea.
Was it?
This film was your idea.
You messaged us a good 3 weeks ago saying, next time we do it, can it be Ready Player One?
I don't believe you.
Okay. Doesn't matter what you believe. We know the truth. Anyway, I'm not going to go through the rules. I think we're all competent on those rules. Except, I'm just going to highlight that I am throwing them into the Ready Player One universe at the very beginning, which starts with Wade Watts' big intro into the whole thing at the very, very, very beginning of the film. Monologue, that's it. And
I know big
but
ones.
you can have access to the Oasis however you need, but it's your first day in the Oasis, so you're basically depowered. You don't have any good stuff. You have to win it, or you have to try and play the game because there is kind of a game.
Nice.
And it's up to you to be good computer people, because that's really how the game. That's how you get good at the game. You have to be good at computers, I suppose.
And I am already screwed at this.
You'll be fine, Scott. Just
I am no good at video games.
What are you? You're bad in this.
Bad.
So
Boo!
let's just go through that
You
quickly.
can't boo yourself.
I can and I did.
Let's go through this film, guys. As usual in this conversation, we're all played by either good, bad, or the overseer, I guess, of the entire film. So I think it's fair to say that Ben, who's going to be doing the good stuff today, is going to be represented by Parsival Wade Watts, his character.
Wait,
He's a good
Put yourself.
guy. He'd be played by that character, obviously, and the bad guy, Scott, who is taking the place of bad guy today, needs to be represented by the most evil force in the entire film, which is ads. Buy our stuff. Okay, no, we'll get rid of those ads because we don't like ads, except for our own stuff, obviously, that we put at the end of every video. Now that I think about it, but forget the ads. No, the real
other ads are available.
Ben just stole Scott's catchphrase. But no, in this case, I think the real bad guy, guys, is, of course, as it is in a lot of films, capitalism. I think it is like IOI. They're being okay. I'll just get them represented by current, persistent, manager, CEO, bad guy, Nolan Sorrento, who's played by. I'm just trying to look up his name now. Ben Mendelsohn. I like Ben Mendelsohn. He's appearing, but he's basically guy in a suit who does bad things in most
white
films.
guy in a suit.
Except for when he's a Skrull, and he's actually quite cool.
In what?
In Captain Marvel.
He's the main Skrull.
And he's a very good.
I know.
Plays
I
it very
remember.
well. And he gets to
the
do it.
Australian guy.
He gets to do it in his native Australian.
I love
accent.
Australians.
There you go. You like Ben Mendelsohn. There we go. So Nolan Sorrento will stand in for Scott's bad guy persona. I think it's fair to say, guys, you'll agree with me that the overseer, the person who gets to watch everything, is the butler or the the curator. Sorry, not the butler. He just looks like a butler.
Yeah.
The curator or Ogden Morrow, played by Simon Pegg in this film, because he's watching the whole thing and doesn't care and just likes the protagonist in this particular film. And so that's who we're representing today. But let's get into a little bit about what we think of Ready Player One as a film. It's let us not forget that it is filmed by Steven Spielberg, screenplay by Zach Penn, and Klein. I have no idea who Klein is. It's got quite an eclectic cast of people. A lot of newcomers, I thought, but and it's I don't know. I actually like this film.
I enjoy the film.
I do. I think I've watched it twice in one day before, back to back. There was just something, I don't know what it is about this film, because it's not, even though it's directed by Steven Spielberg, and possibly the only director who could do it, since he owns pretty much a license for all the like pop culture characters. Well, he was pretty much the one who filmed a lot of those films, and he's obviously such a player in Hollywood. Only he could probably convince so many people to give them the license to do all that. And Alan Silvestri does the soundtrack for this, and he did Captain America.
Yeah,
I think. Is that right?
Yeah,
that sounds right to me.
I think it does.
Speaking of Captain America, go back and watch our Captain America video.
Yes, ads.
Ads.
See, they are evil.
That's true. But I very much enjoyed the film. I think, as a concept, it's probably one of the most potential things that could happen in this world eventually.
Yes, it's actually depressing how out of all post-apocalyptic, well, it's not really post-apocalyptic, but the idea of all of humanity going onto a virtual reality machine,
to escape from real life,
it's so close to actually happening.
Probably not to the extent it does in this film, but the fact of how video games are becoming more realistic and you can effectively do anything, and people want that. They want the escape of just
IOI matched so many companies that would just take advantage of this and pay for play, get rid of the ads, and that's why I hate them. Like, I really want them to lose in this because they're capitalists. No, because they're greedy capitalists. But because they're just it's just so odd. Like, we hate ads on
Well, it's not
videos and
IOI
YouTube.
doing it. It's actually the board of directors of IOI doing it. They're just employing everyone who's trying to survive.
Yeah, I think Nolan Serena goes OTT though, trying to get it done. I haven't really been able to figure out why I like this film, because the ending is a little bit odd. That
it's awkward.
He sort of goes, great, I've got hundreds of billions of pounds now.
Yeah. I'm
going to close this thing for 2 days.
$500 billion or something, isn't it? $500 billion?
Yeah, and he doesn't really he's. I actually kind of get the message at the end. The message is saying,
was that interact with people?
Yeah.
And get off your screen a bit.
Yeah, and I thought that was a good message.
Yeah.
I know that some people, I've seen some videos about Ready Player One that complain that this virtual reality world where everyone's escaping this really terrible world, objectively terrible because everywhere seems to be just covered in rubbish all the time. You live in caravans stacked on a thing instead of a proper building, and their only escape is this world where they can be anyone they can be. And so taking it away from them for 2 days a week, someone in the video complained about that, and that why is that a good ending? But the point was, get out of this, get off the screen and go enjoy the real world. And to be honest, a lot of problems in this world probably would have been solved if people would leave the Oasis and go, let's vote in, let's change the system, let's fix things. Mm-hmm. Maybe but it's a little bit off, because it's at least they're rich, at least they're going to be happy, while all the people who help them win at the end of the film don't get squat.
I guess it also shows the dangers of talking to people online, how this big hard man of muscly H is just this is gonna sound so, but it's just a woman. Just they can change their appearance and change their characters, and
as in catfishing.
Exactly.
Do you think that message was somewhat there a little bit? I mean, they're friends, H and
exactly.
Whatever his name is, Parsifal. That's it.
But obviously, there's the dangers just implicated there.
Yeah, it's a little bit. There is a sort of because he's not supposed to give his name, and that's how they track him down. So anonymity. Thank you, Ben. I can't. Anonymity is important online. I think I like watching this film around. I like all the nostalgia that appears into it. And I like how there's some new stuff in. They've obviously tried to create new pop culture because it's set in the future, but I don't mind that you got the DeLorean. I don't mind that you've got Jurassic Park, King Kong, and all the other horror creatures that are in the background, and Gundam, and the Iron Giant, and Mechagodzilla. This is probably one of the
Batman's in there as well. Go watch our Batman episode.
Ad. I like how this is going to become the catchphrase for this particular episode. I like how this is probably the only scenario where you could have all those things fighting
Yeah.
each other all in one place.
Yeah.
And I like it.
Mm.
And I like computer games, so it kind of appeals to me in that. But the thing is, I don't like the idea of virtual reality myself.
No.
I've never had the opportunity to play virtual reality.
Close.
It's just like I don't want. It's just too fake.
It feels like it'll give me a headache.
Yeah, in some ways it's like I don't want to enter a world where that becomes my world, which is all fake and empty and meaningless. And then
Hevel.
Sorry?
Hevel.
Hevel?
Ben knows what I mean.
Yeah.
Does anyone else at home know? Put it in the comments if you know what Hevel is. I'm not sure I want to know.
As a Christian, you should, Mark.
Oh, okay, that's a slight against me then, I suppose. No, it's I don't like the idea of virtual reality. I definitely don't. In a sense, I don't want to take the goggles off and want to go instantly back in.
Yeah.
Because there's people who have a life in the Oasis, but it's still fake, and I still know it is. I also don't like the idea of who's going to actually control this virtual reality in the future. And it's going to be a multinational company. Who knows what data they're stealing? Who knows if they're getting into your head in some way? And algorithms.
The Matrix.
Yes, I don't want to be in the Matrix. It's just a comfy place to live. And there we go.
Ben, what do you think of the film? We haven't heard your opinion yet.
I think
Having not seen the film, by the way.
Yeah, I was wondering if you were going to call him out on that.
I have seen Hishi.
What do you think of the concept of the film?
And I have seen everything great about, so
You think you've got enough?
I have enough to.
I love that channel.
Which one?
Everything great about.
Yeah.
Also, like
Cinema
everything
Wins.
wrong about.
It is a bit more upbeat than the other Cinema Sins.
Yeah.
Though I do enjoy that one as well.
It's hard to enjoy that ever since I watched a video that broke down how bad it is. I should really stop doing that. I should stop doing that to the things I like. Purposely go watching the things that criticise it.
No, I purposefully go and watch the films that I hate to see him.
Oh, I see.
Absolutely wreck it.
Yeah, this is why I hate it.
Even he's terrible at wrecking them sometimes. Not everything he says is. Why are we doing this? And who cares about that?
Tangent control.
Tangent control. Thank you, Scott. That's usual.
Anyway, what was your opinion on the concept of the film?
I think it's a really cool concept. I quite like. I kind of wish that the normal world that they were living in were fleshed out more without a monologue at the beginning.
Yeah.
And they just showed us instead. And
because you only see the city they're in.
Yeah.
The stacks, which are terrible, legitimately terrible, and
The health and safety in those stacks are awful.
yeah.
it's like one
Welcome to-
bar. The
welcome
whole
to
thing
America.
goes down.
No, but it's just trying to get from the top to the bottom. I saw how Wade did it.
I'm always worried about the plumbing in that thing. I presume there's pipes, but it's still bad. And I don't understand what there's some silly. This is based on a book, which sometimes gets good. Like some people like it, some people hate the book, because it's quite weird in places. I will say that much. And as an author, I always try to avoid the weird things because a lot of books are weird. The films purposely skip over those parts because they're a bit out there. And I hope I haven't done anything like that in my own books. But
I'll let you know if you did.
yeah, thank you. And buy my books, ads. And
Skip ads. Skip ads.
But it's like apparently the book and the film are quite divergent from one another. Like they obviously took a lot out and rejigged some of the things to make the film work in their case.
I've not read the book, so I wouldn't know.
No.
In this case, like I guess just to go back to it, in like Cinema Sins, the books don't matter because we're criticising a film universe, not a book universe. Maybe one day we'll get to a book universe, but that's probably not as fun.
That can't make you read things.
Actually, why did I say that? I'm a writer. Of course it's fun to read books, but in other words, I can't show you pictures from a book. I can show you text, but that's not the same as showing you as a clip from a film.
Yeah.
So would we rate it quite highly? Really low?
I would.
It's alright.
It's alright.
It's one film I could probably watch again and again and not get bored of.
You don't have to think about it much.
No, you just have it on.
Yeah, it's got some good scenes. I mean, how often do you see a bunch of characters fight a war on a snow
And
planet?
Darth Vader somehow.
Darth Vader's in it?
Pretty sure Star Wars is in it.
It must be.
We're finally back to our Star Wars episode.
Yes.
Did you only say that because so that you?
I
Can
had it in my mind when we mentioned
Name
what
drop.
was it? Batman.
Yes.
No, Star Wars is in it as well.
Yeah.
So I think
Speaking of Disney, Marvel Universe. Watch our video on the Marvel Universe.
Ad.
Exactly.
But I do enjoy.
We're running out of the episodes. I don't think Monsters Inc. was in it.
No, I don't. No.
They never had Sully fighting.
No.
There's only so many. And I suppose I don't think there were. That's why Star Wars might not have been in it.
No Pixar. It's
Well,
not Disney
no
stuff.
Disney because
Oh, no, there wasn't.
Disney wouldn't have been. I don't think there's any Disney in Ready Player One now that I think about it, and that's probably because they would never give the rights over because it was a Warner Brothers film, and they're not going to let that. They're not going to let that happen.
Until Disney buy Warner Brothers,
Yeah, that's
which is inevitable.
yes, probably. And then that's when we have to break up Disney for having too much power.
And they become IOI.
Yeah,
and they create a virtual reality where we have to find an Easter egg.
Yeah, and then create rubbish films just
Yeah.
because just to milk a franchise that they have.
Actually, no, Warner Brothers is DC, isn't it?
I will say that
Yeah.
Disney are the closest to IOI right now, taking over the entire world. What a rubbish company, IOI. What did it stand for?
Interactive optical interaction.
Having seen the
Terrible name for a
film, having
CEO.
not seen
I
the
don't
film,
know.
I'm impressed.
In the list of fictional companies, that's a terrible name. Along with
I keep pronouncing it as 101.
101. That's what I kept thinking 101. Let's say, oh, maybe that
What
has
does
to
that
do.
stand for?
Well, maybe that might be room 101.
Why would it be room 101?
I think.
What room has significance that it's room 101?
It comes from. I think it's from 1984. It's like a room that, like they put the
yeah,
stuff
yeah,
that's
yeah,
not
yeah.
supposed to exist anymore. I've never read 1984, and I kept.
And you call yourself an author?
Yeah, but so do most people. They buy the book, put it on the shelf, and only pretend they've read it.
Yeah.
I've read the
Hey, look,
synopsis.
I'm an author. I've got books.
Let me just double check that, but I'm pretty sure that Room 101 comes from 1984, and it's like a room where everything sort of disappears. It's also an excellent comedy TV show produced on TV. Yeah, on
Comedy show?
yes, sorry, it's a torture chamber.
1984.
It's a torture chamber in the Ministry of Love from George Orwell's novel 1984. Yes, so there we go. I was right.
Oh my
And
God.
that's probably why IOI look like Room 101. It's a torture chamber to some extent because they torture people in the
with
film.
Ministry of Love.
Yeah, I don't think it's what the. It's not
actually
what it
feels
sounds
weird.
like when they
Well,
torture you.
back to the film.
Tangent
Oh,
control.
good thinking, Ben.
So
It may also be binary code 101.
Doesn't
what does that
matter.
mean? No, binary comes in twos.
For goodness
fours,
sake,
eights.
tangent control!
No, it's in Twitter's binary code.
Nice
coming
try, Ben.
10.
I
Anyway.
tangent control you!
Shut it, Ben. Binary code is 10110.
No, binary code is made of zeros and ones, but 101 I don't think would mean anything in binary.
Doesn't matter what it means. Saying 101 is binary. Ben, don't hit me. I'm sorry.
Don't leave. Come back. Come in.
No.
Have you guys shut up now?
Oh,
Yes,
this is terrible.
come back in. There we go.
I
Good.
don't like this.
He never left the room. But that was good. That was good sound effects.
Thank you.
Anyway,
I just like them.
well, I think we've reviewed the film
He
enough.
dislikes my sound effects.
Yes.
It's time
I don't-
tangent control. It's time.
Smart. Good
You
thinking.
left because of this, and now you're going off on a separate tangent. We're back. Let's get into it.
I'll be back.
I've thrown you both into the Ready Player One universe, good and bad. One of you's going to do good things, one of you's going to do bad things. Let us start with Ben. Ben, what do you do from the moment you get thrown into the universe? You got a crummy stack house somewhere, and you've got access to the Oasis, but only like the bare minimum. It's your first day It's your first day accessing the Oasis, but you know everything about the Ready Player One universe. What are you going to do? That's good.
Okay. What what I'm going to do is I'm going to sabotage Wade.
So the good thing you're going to do is immediately spoil everything for the main protagonist.
Yeah. 'cause
Okay.
He needs to learn how to appreciate his life that he has, and not go chasing after some streamer.
But they end up together. You're ruining their relationship.
No.
Okay. How are you going to get them together then?
I
Okay.
don't- I-
First off, tell us how you're going to sabotage Wade. What?
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter the Oasis and win. I'm going to win like a game that gets me a little bit of money that I can buy a knife.
Which game?
What? Okay, not too violent. Children
King
might watch
Kong.
this.
Fine. I'll allow it.
Wait, do you mean win like the first key?
No, I'm not
Okay.
going.
Because the only way you can win anything is go to that planet. As far as we know, you go to Planet Doom, and you win some sort of competition. You win something, then you get like one of those special things.
Actually, yeah, never mind. I can just win the key. Actually.
Yeah, because you get 100,000
Yeah.
credits in game.
But how are you going to do that without a vehicle? You just buy a vehicle.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I
Yeah,
can just run backwards.
It's a race. You need a car.
So you're just like you're on the track in a spot, and everyone's looking at you. Do you need a car, mate? No, I don't.
Just win the most
Fight
basic
me.
game. Buy some rollerblades. And just scoot
I have
backwards.
mastered the skill of rollerblading backwards.
Maybe.
Don't
Why
go
don't you just
backwards,
turn around
just turn
and
around.
go? Yeah. Why?
It's more impressive.
Maybe then I'll let you get a car. Presumably cars are somewhat cheaper
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah, because
It doesn't matter what car. It could be a.
some
I'm trying to think
rickety
of a really
old
bad
A
car.
chariot. A
A
chariot
chariot.
with no horses.
So you can't even go backwards. You have to go around and wheelbarrow it down the. Which would be hilarious. I'll just give you a bog standard Ford Mondeo
Okay, cool.
ad. No, I drive Kias. A Kia Picanto.
And-
Shout out to Kia.
Or drive
Anyway.
the Hyundai.
Yeah, so I'll just drive backwards, win the race, hope that my car doesn't break down underneath.
Yeah, apparently, I don't think you need to worry about that. It seems like it just takes you there almost. And
Like
do
one
you
of those
do you make sure no one sees you though?
No.
So you start the race, everyone drives off, and you pretend it's slowed down, and then you reverse. So
Sold.
no one gets the secret of how you won it.
No, because does the race not shut down after somebody wins it?
Well, there's a fanfare, but no one knows where you did it.
Nobody knows how you won it.
Okay. Yeah,
Although,
sure.
presumably, and then IOI learned how to do it by watching everyone else in Parsifal's team sort of win it. I think.
The only reason anyone else knows is because that lady person saw Parsifal do it.
See, this is the thing. If you do it,
Yeah, so
when the film starts with him entering the Oasis, going straight to the racetrack
Yeah.
to win it. So you could just be there, like, hey, buddy, and then you let everyone drive off trying to beat it the first time, and then you go backwards and win it. You appear on the game score, Ben C. or B Cornish.
Upstairs.
Upstairs studio, sorry,
Ad.
Upstairs studios on the
Fair.
board.
Oh.
Other names.
Oh,
other names
I
are
should have
in.
saved that for later.
Yeah, you can. And then you've won the first key. You got 100,000 credits at the beginning, and hopefully no one's seen how you do it.
Yeah.
So no one else can continue your progress.
Mm.
So you've picked Wade Watson to the post.
And I've got the first key.
Yes.
But now you've got guys after you.
Does he though?
Yeah.
He just doesn't have to make the same mistake Wade does and give his real name.
Yeah, it's just like.
No, but he's still got guys hunting him down in the game. Because when you die, you lose
that's
all your
true.
coins.
Yeah, but I've got the key anyway. Do you lose?
Oh,
the
you
key?
might. Oh, that's a good point.
Do you lose the key if you die?
Yeah.
Because you lose all your inventory,
It's
don't you?
interesting. I wonder if that's true because throughout the film, whoever's doing in IOI, they hire people who get the keys presumably. So they must keep the key, otherwise, how do they pass it on to IOI? How does what's his face keep getting it every time? I don't know.
Interesting.
I think we'd have to say that you do get to keep the keys.
Yeah,
But
okay.
you just lose all your coins.
So
and your
yeah,
inventory.
yeah, because that's what he says. You lose all your coin. So if you do get killed in random places
Yeah.
during your story, your time in the Oasis, you
Yeah.
still keep the key.
I'm not planning on dying anytime.
Okay, good.
So
You got the first key. You got 100,000 credits.
what I'm
Back off, back guys. I'm not planning on dying today.
just like fear.
Scott's top secret weapon.
Yeah.
Yelling fear at people.
Hey, buddy. Fair. Ah!
Yeah, so I'm going to spend all my money and fully deck myself out with weapons and armour and everything.
Sounds fair.
Seems like a waste because you could just trip on a banana skin and go.
No, but if you've got armour, then they just get to...
You fall into a pit of lava.
Well, yeah,
I've
then
got
don't...
heat-resistant armour from Minecraft.
Nice.
Oh, Minecraft
this
is in
game.
there. Yes, Minecraft is in there. Product placement is... I just realised how horrific product placement is in this.
Not a sponsor.
No. Yeah, sponsor us, Minecraft. I love Minecraft. Anyway.
Other sponsors are available.
Scott, we have to stop him. This is a game now between me and Ben. We have to stop Scott from ever saying that with anything.
The rage
The
in
rage.
Scott's eyes just then was so
He has
strong.
lost control over his we have taken it. So
I call a vote no confidence in Ben's leadership.
I agree.
I own state Mark as leader.
Yes, I'm back. And it's official. And
Mark,
anyway,
stop this madness.
now tangent control. What is you're trying to stop? You're like bypassing where you
Yeah.
what? So what is your ultimate goal here?
My ultimate goal is to become the leader of the Oasis.
So-
Is to run the Oasis.
So you want to get the Easter egg.
Yeah, so I'm going to get the Easter egg.
So now that you do the first race, and you instantly know what to do to win
Yeah.
the next key. So you just go straight there and do it.
Yeah.
And as long as no one's seeing you do this, then And then you go to, then you immediately go to that castle and get the next one, play adventure, and go straight for the Easter egg. And
the only break that I need is to get armor and stuff after the first key.
You can almost do all this in a couple of hours.
Yeah.
Like race, people are going, this guy's on the leaderboard. Oh, he spent all his money. And then
Why-
and he's got the second key. And then a few minutes later, and he's got the third key. And he's signing over the he's giving it to him. How did this happen?
There's nobody who just showed up an hour ago who's now got all 3 keys, the Easter egg, and loads of money.
Yeah, that's it. Done.
Yeah, now I run the Oasis.
So you're a multi-billionaire.
This might be a shorter episode than I thought.
But hang on, you're good. So how is this good?
And then I invest my money into rebuilding the world into a better place, and then I shut down the Oasis.
Screw all you people. Love it.
No. So like, I'll do it gradually. So like, I'll like decrease the amount of hours that can be spent on the Oasis in a day, and then slowly it becomes like maybe like.
I'm afraid you got a slight problem there.
There's going to be a hard revolution against you.
No, because if I do it gradually enough, then I don't know.
Here's my issue, right? 500 in the film, you get 500 billion. That's like half a trillion. That's what he says. That is like in stock. So what you have to do is sell stock to get that money. So that's how that. I think that. I'm no economics expert, but I'm sure that's how it works.
Okay.
Like the stock is worth something. You have to sell it off to get that money.
Okay then.
So you could sell 100 billion and you still got 400 billion, which presumably is still enough controlling interest in the company, perhaps, which I assume it is. And then you can do your thing. But the more unpopular you make the Oasis, the more the stock will decrease because people will spend less time on there. So that's less exposure to all the stuff people are selling on the Oasis. But also, IOI would then go, hey, people don't like this thing anymore. We'll build our own one. Why don't you come over and join our Oasis? I couldn't think of a certain...
Oasis.
I just put B on the...
Oasis 2.0.
Although Oasis sounds cool. No, what's that thing in... The other film we were talking about that exists in a... What was that place called?
Matrix.
No, not the Matrix. The Free Guy.
Oh, yeah.
Then you build your own Free Guy.
Free Life 2.
That's it. Free Life 2. You build that instead, and then Oasis has competition.
That was also an incredible film.
Okay.
I do like your idea of spending the money to make the world a better place. I'm not sure how.
I copyright everything in the Oasis to me, and then I enact my plan so
That's
they
even more
can't
money.
use anything
Yes.
in there. So there's no pop culture stuff in their Free Guy.
Oh, I
in
see what
their
you
free
mean.
line. So I'm basically doing
yeah,
their...
So you stop the competition from ever getting off the ground because no one can go and have their pop culture things inside.
That requires you to buy Disney, which I'm pretty sure is more than 500 billion.
Does Disney
I wouldn't
exist
say
in
so.
this?
No, because we've already covered that Disney do not. There's no Disney product whatsoever ends up in the film. So
What's stopping me from going to start Free Guy just with Disney characters?
But the thing is, he's already proved. Well, the Oasis is much better than the Free Guy.
Also,
Yeah,
I
virtual
can
reality.
copyright the entire program that creates the Oasis.
You have to patent it, and unfortunately, that means it's copyrighted. And
What?
patent only lasts for a certain time. Patent and copyright are two different things.
Okay. I will...
As learned from Dragon's Den. Not
Or
a
Shark
joke.
Tank if you're in America.
Yeah, so if I've copyrighted every character, and then
Brought the copyright to every character. That's fine. You can do that.
and then if I bring a copyright to, like...
And then you, if you hold on the copyright, then no one can really start a competition because no one will want to go to another virtual reality place.
That's just people.
That's the way you have to make up your own character.
Yeah.
People like to be characters. It seems in
Yeah.
the Oasis, so you can still keep the business going and be the only Oasis in town.
Yeah, and then I'll just slowly... And then, like...
And just leave Parsonsville and all the others in poverty. At least his mother's sister.
His aunt.
Or his aunt. For that. Who wrote that in that script? It always bothered me that he said that. I think like, he might as well have said, "You killed Bob." No, Bob's my uncle. Something, whatever. It's like it didn't make any. It made no sense to just say, "You killed my mother's sister."
Yeah.
You killed my aunt. He goes, "Was it Aunt May?" Because this is apparently the only aunt we care about in all of fiction is his mother's sister, whose name I've forgotten already. So your plan is just to get hold of all the money and then use it to make everything better.
Yeah.
In the world, if you can.
I'll
Give to charity.
I'll use the business to start like clearing away the rubbish and stuff, and making new housing, and then
affordable housing.
Yeah.
Get something passed through, and then you could run for president with your billions, and then change the whole economic system of America to be better.
And then I go to war with the world. No, I won't do that. I'll stick it just to America.
Yeah, because this is what I'll point this out. We pointed this out in our Batman episode. That it was that
you can't add more.
It's the idea that billionaires. They always say that billionaires just give away their wealth in these sort of films. But I think we pointed out
the Batman did cover that and how.
But the problem is, it's not actually a lot of money that they can actually make. Like the Batman, Bruce Wayne's company is worth like billions, like 60 billion or something. But New York spends 90 billion every year, so there's not actually a lot a billionaire can do for a city that a city can't do for itself. So a billionaire, I would have said a billionaire. Even you becoming a billionaire, you won't be able to do that much unless. No. You could make the Oasis better for people though. Yeah. You could give away half of it, all of it for free. Make it communal that everyone has. Sell all your shares to everyone else in the Oasis, so they all own a part of it. So IOI can never get their hands on it ever again.
Yeah. Plus,
having a business meeting with all those shareholders is going to be a pain.
Yep.
But you could just pay someone to do that for you.
It's true.
I'll pay the butler.
Pay the butler, the curator. Go. Oh, you're the guy he kicked out of the company. Here's some money that you deserve. Yeah, Hadley wasn't a great guy in that. He wasn't. Well, he regretted it. So. And did he download himself into the Oasis?
He was the wizard, wasn't he?
Yeah, but it seemed like at the end of the film he suggested that he had matrixed himself into the Oasis, so he's now permanently inside or something. I don't know. Or care.
Yeah. Whatever. I'm now president of the United States, and I'm cleaning up.
After buying the presidency.
Yeah, buying the presidency.
But you can buy the presidency apparently. But there we go. And
not political.
No, yeah, sorry. I could just say I will shut down the Oasis if you don't vote for me.
You're supposed to be the good person.
That seems like blackmail to me.
Yeah, that's bad. That's blackmail. It's textbook blackmail. But no,
it's a helpful nudge.
You can spend your own money on your own campaign, and therefore you can become president, and therefore make things better for America.
Yeah. By building a wall. Sorry.
No,
stop it.
Stop being.
That wasn't good.
Other political parties are available. You keep forgetting. Anyway. Well done then.
Thank you.
There are flaws. Though,
yeah,
I would say.
But none that cannot be fixed with billions.
Nothing can't be fixed by lots of money, except having friends. According to this,
I can buy my friends. I'll assure you that.
Yeah, they're not friends if you buy them.
I'll just bring Scott along.
Oh, sweet, thanks, man.
And you can share your loft with him.
Exactly.
My loft.
Oh, in the end of the film, Ray Watts has bought seemingly a loft-style apartment.
I'm not going to buy a loft-style apartment.
You're going to buy...
Who do you take me for?
You're going to buy a mansion?
No.
We just need a two-bedroom
An
house.
underwater city with those billions.
Yes!
Or you just buy a small room with a kitchen and just spend all your time in the Oasis. Because why do you need
I'll buy a place in the stacks.
Yeah, like what? Yeah, why do you... Actually, that's a good point. Why do you need, like, if you're a billionaire, you don't need to buy anything in the real world because you just have it in the...
Yeah.
But it's not the same.
No.
That's virtual reality for you.
We had this discussion earlier.
Yes, we did. Pre-game. Scott, over to you then.
I'm on strike.
I'll be on strike.
Other Scots
are available.
Blast!
It just keeps going. Anyway, Scott.
I'm so upset.
You're tough. You agreed to this. You're the bad. What are you going to do with your...
I told you I'm on strike.
You can't. Come on.
Right. So, here's my plan. So, what is my plan? Let's have a think.
You're bad, so you're...
Bad.
I mean, in some ways you could do everything Ben just did.
Yeah, except...
No, I've got...
Except not spend the money on anything at the end.
I'm copywriting my ideas.
Have you got something?
Other ideas are available.
Don't my friend.
What made you think that?
Anyway, here's my...
dark.
This is a dark episode.
Don't make me cry.
It's a very cheery... Is it a cheery looking film? I suppose it is.
It's got the Iron Giant.
Yeah, that's true. Gundam. It's got
Halo,
Chucky.
Overwatch.
No, Chucky's not. that's
Chucky
not-
is my favourite bit.
Well, when he chucks the Chucky doll,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Oh my
I
god,
never liked
it's
Chucky.
Chucky.
I hate Chucky. I hate those kind of dolls.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think-
Scott.
So here's my plan. So, I do like the only video game I'm really good at is a Formula 1 game.
Yeah.
So I go off and do a couple of Formula 1 races. I win a bit of coin, and I buy a good car.
Okay.
A good car for no apparent reason. Apart from the fact I want a good car instead of a Kia or Ford or whatever. Outrageous cars. Other cars are available.
Ah,
got it!
Stole it
Sucker!
back. He stole it back. Okay.
Sucker! So, but then I make sure to, like Ben did, I make sure I go backwards but in secret.
Yeah.
They see my name on the IOI, see my name on the leaderboard.
What's
Which
your name
is-
in the game?
Scotland guy.
Scotland Yard.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Scard, yeah, sure. Scotland Guard.
No, Scotland
Scot-
Yard.
Scotland Yard. Sure, why not?
Scotland.
Yeah.
Scotland.
There we go. Scotland Yard.
Scotland.
So
Scotland.
Scotland. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
Let's. So you won the board, and then and
but
you
then,
won the first one.
In the film,
Yeah.
the IOI approach Wade
Yeah.
or Wayne or
To
however you
pay
say
him
it,
money.
for money. However, I convince them I know how to win the next key,
Yeah.
and I negotiate this with shares in their company.
But
Yes.
they only approach Wade because he won the first game.
Exactly, and I did win the
Yeah,
first
he
game.
did.
So
win the
why
first
would they? So why would they approach him and then you go?
Well, no. He has.
I got there first.
He's got there first.
Oh, so you've just approached them?
No. He.
Ben,
before-
watch the films.
Before Wade, before Wade wins the first race, which we have to presume is a couple of days between when he first tries it in the film and when he tries it again,
Mm.
you've won it.
Yeah.
And no one cares who passed it was because the first person on the board is Scotland.
Yeah.
And then I'll IOI approach you like they did with Watts because you forget about that guy. So you're what? So you're
But
trying
then-
to negotiate a contract with them now.
But then they go, I don't believe you. Fine. Then I go off
Yeah.
and I win the second game.
Yes.
And it's like, well, I know how to. And they approach me again, hopefully.
Yes.
And I go, well, I know how to win the third game as well. It's like, well, I'm only going to do this for like a majority share in your company.
Ooh. Would
So
they go for that?
They would not go for that because like they
Well, no, they kind of have to because if the part of the contract is he gets a
Oh, yeah,
controlling
that's
interest in
true.
IOI, he also gets a sort of controlling interest in the Oasis because IOI would win the Oasis.
Exactly.
So your plan is to get a stake in IOI,
Yeah.
then win IOI the Oasis.
Yeah.
Okay. Why?
Ads. Because I want money.
So you assume that IOI are going to make more money out of the Oasis
Through ads.
through the ads. So
However, I change the ad slightly.
who
So,
pay for the ads in Iowa?
no, the idea is that you would. It's like paying for anything on YouTube. I love you, YouTube, but having to pay to get rid of ads and having now 2 ads on these things is ridiculous.
unskippable.
Unskippable
30 seconds.
is the idea that makes YouTube more money, so it would make IOI more money to as you're playing the Oasis. You get started,
Okay.
an ad pops up, and you go skip, or you pay for premium access on top of all the other money the Oasis makes.
Exactly.
So extra money.
However, what I change is I don't want these ads popping up filling screens because that'll draw players away.
Yes.
Because whenever I play a free game on my phone and then just ads after ads after ads, I'm like,
Yeah,
nope,
yeah.
not so interested in that anymore.
Hmm.
So I just reduce it to like just maybe the sides.
Manageable.
Exactly. And like a few
A cheap premium price.
exactly. But you know how like estate agents have in America have like their ads on like park benches,
Yeah.
but like Easter eggs,
So it's going to be like
like
Eas-
billboards and stuff.
So
with-
in the Oasis, product placement within
exactly,
the Oasis. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, so everywhere you go in the Oasis, you see
yeah.
signs. On Planet Doom, there's like teeth whitener.
Exactly.
I don't know why I thought of that. But I did. But that's
Do
the
you
ad
whiten
there.
your teeth?
No, I hadn't. I just went. I know. I went to the dentist today. That's why I'm thinking
Oh,
about
nice.
it. They didn't whiten my teeth, but they are whiter.
I don't believe you.
No, they're definitely not white. So you now have a controlling interest in IOI. Your money, your stock is going through the roof because now they own the Oasis.
But then I invest all this money
Yeah.
to make the Oasis better, more addictive.
It's gone full corporate.
Okay.
How do you make it more addictive?
By increasing the quality, the amount of things you can do,
The brightness.
the brightness.
Flashing lights.
Lights equals.
I buy part of
Doubled.
Disney, include their characters in it.
Okay.
Um,
Yes.
This is like people with epilepsy's nightmare.
Yes, it is a little bit.
Yeah.
So you're basically just you want to run the Oasis like a business and just rake in the cash.
Exactly. Make it better for myself.
And you do have the top trump to get you through, which is knowing exactly how to win the Oasis.
Have you won the Oasis yet?
No, I haven't done that yet. But considering I know I told them I know to win the second one, and they would just have to assume, they'd have to believe me that I'd win the third one.
Yeah.
And I do.
Well, their contract would specify that you do win it for them. Yeah. Otherwise, they don't give
you
the
know how.
shares. Exactly.
But then how are you going to get through all this legal stuff before Wade
there
gets through and gets all 3 keys? Because presumably
there's a few days. Could you sabotage anyone else's attempts to think the clue to complete the clue? I don't think there is a way to sabotage. Like they would still figure it out. Like there isn't a way to. Although, no. I was just thinking, I can't think of any way how you can actually sabotage the game by knowing what the game is inside.
They would figure it out. However, Nolan goes off and buys that shield.
Yes.
And they just waste all this time with the shield, playing after player. But they can't get in.
Yeah. You can tell them how to get in. Like you just station a guard around it.
Exactly.
Like rather than one guard going around it. You go. Oh, by the way, put a speaker barrier around the shield, and they would never get in. Yeah. And then you've saved our.
And I'd win the game too quickly for them to do anything about it.
You could probably buy the shield. Actually, you know where the shield is being handed over by that IROC and guy and Sorrento. So you can sort of turn up, kill them both.
Yeah.
I'll take this now. And now you got the shield, and you go to the game, and then you keep it locked up. There you go. And that's how you stop anyone from winning it. And therefore, he's got all the time he needs to keep the Oasis, to keep the last key locked up for him and only him.
Exactly.
Because there's no way to break down the shield without the thing. You don't let Artemis in.
No.
And you're raking in money from IOI.
Billions.
But don't you think it's better just to own the Oasis outright and just complete it all and sign it over to yourself?
I have a 51% share, of course.
But is it 51%? It's a majority. Well, it's the same majority.
It's a majority share. I only need 51% for majority.
But 51% of the Oasis is surely better than a lot. 51% of IOI.
Well, what's stopping me from working with them and then buying them out?
You could probably buy IOI with the Oasis money that you got. So I would say, Scott, the best thing to do is actually just to take over the Oasis and then buy IOI. Cancel the IOI thing that they wanted to cancel in the film. Take IOI, and then you own 2 massive corporations.
That's true. I'll do that then.
And then never give anyone else your money.
Exactly.
And
I don't do anything to help them. I just make it more addictive. I increase the product range that they can buy in game.
Yep.
Nice.
That is a good thing to do. You both of you have a track in this situation just to become massively wealthy, and Ben has gone, I will use my wealth for good. Scott has like, I want more.
With my money, I buy everyone in the game. It's going to cost me, but I'm going to get the money back. Buy better headsets, better equipment, just to play the game.
Yeah, so you're going to invent better equipment and stuff.
Cheaper, better equipment to get more people addicted to the game. Yeah, makes sense, because the more people can play it. That was a good business strategy. That's why Henry Ford campaigned for the 5-day work week in America, because he wanted people to have a weekend so they would buy cars and go somewhere. So his idea was to make sure people could. He was also a massive Nazi and racist. I just want to put that out that he's bad, but that was a good idea that he had, and you could do the same, Scott, by making sure people can use your product, which increases the amount of money spent in it, which makes him richer and richer and richer. To the point where you can now just become Batman yourself.
Yeah. Then I run for president.
Yeah, and then do worse things. To America.
Then I buy the entirety of England.
We cost more than $5 trillion, surely.
Not at the moment. I buy Scotland.
Name it after yourself. Oh, wait.
Scotland!
You changed the UK to Scotsland.
Scotsland from now on. Right. Well, there you go. 2 plans on how to use and abuse the cheat codes of a computer game to your ultimate victory, for good and bad. But let's talk about now the central. We have to do this on this show. We have to talk about the what if question at the heart of Ready Player One and see if we can do things better. And I think it is, what if the world had a proper virtual reality world that pretty much everyone in the world was heading into at some point or another, and how would that change the world as a whole? Ready Player One tries to answer it by saying, well, obviously if this Oasis exists, everyone's real life is going to kind of be in there. They're going to be themselves. They're going to choose pop culture to represent themselves. And then, because it's like a giant computer game, and it's created by a dork, then whatever the acceptable, socially political correct term for someone who does this now, would obviously put something like an Easter egg in, and Willy Wonka's the whole thing by turning it over to the next person who gets it. That was a good answer. I kind of thought, I think I could see someone, the kind of people who would be available and would create this kind of game, would perhaps have high chance of liking lots of pop culture and computer games, and therefore meld that in, like Adventure, the game in that had an Easter egg. One of the earliest known computer games has an Easter egg, so surely someone like Halliday would do it. But could we do something different with the whole, what if the world had a virtual reality sort of place to go? Could we take the film in a different direction, a story in a different direction?
Well, I think you explained it better before the podcast, so I'm going to let you do it.
So yeah, I did have an idea I pitched, and my idea was that...
Boring!
Give me a chance.
You suck!
Thanks.
Other marks are available.
Yeah.
Other ideas are available.
You want it back. Anyway, my idea was this. In Ready Player One, the world seems to be quite messed up, which is why everyone spends some time in the Oasis. Goodness knows how they're paying for anything and what their jobs are, but everyone goes to the Oasis because the world sucks. So what if we created the virtual reality world for the same reason, but the world is a little bit more messed up? That like climate change has actually completely wrecked the world, and really the only place to go is into the virtual reality machine to live. And over time, all of humanity is in it 24/7. And then, so what exists now is that the only people who are awake, so to speak, not in the virtual reality world, are people who have to tend the machines and make sure everyone's getting fed. Like
servers.
Yeah, basically. But there's very few of them. Like maybe it's all robotic and there's just a few humans. And what I thought that it's not like I don't think it's just like the Matrix. It's not like Free Guy, and it's not like Ready Player One. But what happens is the world starts to heal and get better. Like it gets more green, trees grow, more animals, so on and so forth. The world recovers, but the humans who are outside the virtual reality world and enjoy being outside the virtual reality world, because all the population now does all their stuff inside the virtual reality machine. They realise that now the world's getting better, people are going to start coming out, and they don't want it. And the film becomes this thing where those on the outside are desperate to stop people from getting out. So it's kind of like a reverse Matrix. So it's like the people of Zion going, we don't want any more people out here. They're terrible. They ruin the world, so it becomes the plot almost. I don't even know who the good guy would be. Is it a good thing to keep humanity in this virtual reality world, or is it
because you get square eyes?
That's not how that works.
No, it's not how it works. It's wrap around in the virtual reality. You wouldn't get
so like oblong
yes,
eyes.
it's oblong.
Your eyes would go to your ears.
Yes. I don't think that's not. I don't think you'd evolve those kind of eyes when you're in the Matrix. But either way, what do you think of that idea, and how could the story progress?
I think it's interesting. It's almost like a bit like Wall-E, in a sense. How all these fat guys have just developed into fat, or not all these skinny people have developed into fat guys in chairs.
But they're basically numb to the world around them.
Yeah.
And in it, the main robot tries to keep them that way.
Yeah.
But that was because he didn't want to. But it wasn't because the guy was protecting Earth. The computer got a bit too crazy and thought, I can't let people go back to the planet because it was programmed to. But I'm talking about the idea that it's those outside the virtuality world that are actually happier and don't want people to come out. They like the fact there's not so many human beings around. And it becomes like a global thing where they try to keep them in the virtual.
I think the main character could also go like, I've got a headache. And they go, oh, green!
Yeah. Some guy actually, maybe that's how it starts. Maybe that's the protagonist, the person who takes, like you say, Scott. Yeah. He's the first person in like a millennia to actually wake up because of maybe an eye condition that
wake up, sheeple.
And he's or her is the first to come out, and that's
I hate myself.
And that's when the people outside realise people are going to start leaving, and they try to stop this person from waking up everyone else and telling them what the real world is like.
Yeah, and he has to like sneak around and stuff.
Yeah, maybe everyone in the virtual reality world has become somewhat numb. It's sensory wise, because they've never felt stuff before. They've never actually got hungry. They've had taste, and they've sight. They can hear, and it becomes a race between this person who's come out and now has felt stuff and hears and gets hungry and feels other things about their body.
This this video game, these software developers have almost like developed like a subconscious thing that just keeps you in the game.
Yeah.
So it makes you so addicted to it, but nobody knows why.
But then that's an additional bad guy. In a sense, it's like, is the bad guy the people who want to keep humans in the virtual reality because if they all come out, the world will be messed up again? Or is the bad guy the person who wants to wake everyone up and bring humanity back into the world where we can all mess it up again? Or will we? Maybe something's changed in humanity. Ben?
Why would you put that on me?
You breathed in. I assumed you were going to talk.
I think that the idea it's really quite a cool idea because like if you because you don't actually really have a bad guy except for like what humans used to be.
Yes.
Because you've got the people on the outside trying to keep people in and they're trying to do it for the world's sake. But then
possibly also some of them might be doing it because they just don't want people around.
They're introverts. They don't want to spend time with people.
It may be to some extent that they're just happy. They don't want a mass of people. Something to leave this virtual reality world.
Yeah. But then, like, presumably, like, without humans coming out of the VR world, humans would cease to exist.
Oh, that's a good point.
Because they wouldn't be able to like have kids or babies or anything.
Maybe in our scenario, then the thing keeps them immortal.
Keeps them immortal.
So maybe maybe the climate collapsed. Everyone went into this virtual reality world. They all know day to day. They know it's a virtual reality world, but they think something is. They think they can't leave, but it keeps them alive. It's like a suspended animation thing.
So,
like in Passengers, when they can live, they're kept young as they travel for 90 years to this planet. But in our case, it's like thousands of years humanity have been in these virtual reality pods. But the people on the outside, they're the ones who have maybe they're the ones who have had a family, and they're the ones who do things normally, and they don't live for very long because they're on the outside. But it's still the sort of. But if you think of it like that, the climate collapsed. Everyone who goes into the virtual reality world, as you were saying, is the kind of old humanity. So they all went and bounced into the virtual reality machine, were kept immortal for thousands of years while the Earth healed, and the ones on the outside continued to be normal and respected the planet. And then that's why they're freaking out, because all the people who caused the climate thing are just going to awaken again.
Are still alive.
Yeah, they were still alive in it. They didn't have to make children. They didn't have to breed, and create more humans. Like a set number of humans went in, maybe billions. But when they all come out of the virtual reality machine, the ones on the outside.
It's kind of like if you've ever seen the show The 100, where these. Have you seen The 100?
I think I know the synopsis.
It's all these people from the bunkers are going to come out and just destroy everything, but these grounders have developed this sort of system and life. But the sky people who escaped to space, come back down and sort of mess everything up. And,
it's just a little bit like that. But it's taking the virtual reality context as well. Because is the virtual reality also better? Is it better? Is it real? That's what I think in some ways we need to ask a question that no other virtual reality thing has asked. Free Guy kind of asks, if you create this virtual reality world, what if AI, then NPC, develops a personality within it? And then The Matrix is obviously, what is the real world, I think is the essential question of The Matrix. And then in Ready Player One, it's like, I don't know what the central philosophy behind it might be, that you've got to get out of the fake world into the real world and live your life in reality. I think that's so. What would be the central sort of thing? Escapism, like humanity. Well, yeah, because in some ways, everyone going into the virtual reality machine is them escaping the thing they caused, which is climate change. So it's all about if you can't have that kind of escapism. It's just dangerous and it just repeats. And we're always doing it. Humanity are always trying to escape the thing that they caused anyway. Somehow. It's always pure escapism.
And the way they get them out is by having a massive jump scare that nobody expected and to take them on.
So you're saying that the film ends with all the humans coming out of the virtual reality machine. Either that's the end, and then who's the good guy, bad guy might not really get resolved. It's actually sort of what happens now that all of humanity are exiting this machine.
But this main character makes a speech about we have to do better and blah blah blah. But then at the end, fades out. Fear!
Would
And then they take...
You brought it back round.
Yeah.
that be the jump scare?
Yeah.
The three of us going, fear!
What would we... What would we call this? I can't think of a name. I didn't think of a name for this particular thing.
Totally not fair.
Totally not fair. Virtual hope? No, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, you didn't like that title. That's why I said it so quickly that no one could catch it.
Stay in.
Yeah, no, that works. Stay
Virtual
in.
reality.
Yeah, in some ways that works. Stay in. Like, stay in, stay out. Or stay out. Something like that. Yeah, that works for me.
In, out, we shake it all.
Copyrighted.
Copyright.
Since R-O-N.
Yes.
Other nursery rhyme songs are available.
We will call it Stay In. Which works for the introverted angle as well.
Yeah.
Introverts love to stay in. I appreciate that myself. And yeah, there we go. If anyone wants to buy that story and make it into a film or book, talk to me. And
We will give it to you for a commission.
Definitely. And it's called Stay In. And we've copyrighted it now by saying it. A virtual reality world where everyone's gone in and... but the group of people outside want to make sure no one ever comes out of it again because they love... Because that's one of the things about virtual reality worlds. The only reason why I want virtual reality to be a thing is that so many more people will spend all the time in the virtual world, and I have the world much more to myself. There's less people out here, and it's so much better. I could go...
Haha, suckers!
Like, there'll be no queues in free rides anymore. Restaurants, there'll always be a free table. There'll be more food because you can't... people will eat rubbish food before they go to the Oasis or get food pumped straight into their stomachs, but I can still go and get all the good stuff. I just think it's better, like, the world will be objectively better when there's less people on the street.
Because the businesses won't be raking in money. So.
Oh, but there'll still be smaller.
It'd be robotic.
There'd still be enough people out. There'll be people like me who realise that it's great that all these people are spending all this time indoors. There'll be less virus. There'll be less pandemics.
Yeah.
Everyone will be inside playing the virtual reality machine. That's the one benefit from Ready Player One. No more pandemics.
But then there is a virus in the virtual reality that infects everyone, and they all die.
They all die. And yeah.
Stay in too. Copyrighted.
Or even funnier, it turns out. Well, this is another idea I had for a virtual reality like thing where someone. It's a Matrix scenario at the beginning, so someone wakes up and comes into the real world. But then they think, wait, this might not be the real world. And then they kill themselves to get out of that one. And it turns out they were correct. And they got into another virtual reality world. And then they think, this might not be the real one. And what it has, you have multiple cast of characters, all at different stages of getting out of this virtual reality world. And every time, like, there's one person who's prepared to kill himself and keep going out and take the risk. And but then he does it one more time, and he's back at the beginning. he's entered the original one. He left, and then he realizes that, oh my goodness, I'm trapped, and that was it was the idea that you can't get out of the virtual reality, no matter how hard you try. It's always it's like a nesting doll of virtual realities, but circular.
That is dark.
It is dark, but I could see like a mini series based on that, and people decide to live at certain levels, and it's almost like every level is like. Do you know how humans, like, the existential question is there a God or isn't there? And in some ways people accept varying levels of that. Like, there's people who are atheists and understand that the world, they think that the world is completely meaningless. Or, like, because it's got created. But then there's agnostics or less atheists who still believe in something but don't believe there's a God. And it's kind of like a step up. So every level of this virtual reality is kind of like a commentary on the way humans are prepared to think that their level is the one that is the reality that they accept as truth, or their truth. So it's a big philosophical deal. And again, that's mine, copyright. And if anyone wants to turn it into a book or film,
we will give it to you for a commission.
Other ideas are available.
Scott's not going to come back. Oh, well, I think on that note we have
just because you don't have a catchphrase, Ben.
Let's go back to ads.
No, I don't want to.
Too late. Ben, do you have anything to plug?
No is the answer to that question this week.
My channel, Upstairs Studios.
No.
We're getting close to 250 subscribers.
Yay.
No.
We're getting
no,
close
no,
to
no,
19.
To 20. No, we're on 19.
Oh no, we're on 19. Woohoo.
Go subscribe to me, subscribe to this channel,
Well
and
done,
enjoy.
God, you're showing us in the. And on that ad, my ad is, of course, please have a look at my books: the Alien Hunter Connor Jones series, the Stolen Future series, Half Human series, and be on the lookout for in the future perhaps what tentatively called the Demon Machine series or Soul Life series. That I can't tell you much more. It's an ongoing project.
Sounds uninteresting.
It is. I think it's very interesting.
Did you say uninteresting?
Thanks, man.
You're
But
welcome.
anyway,
I'm upset. I don't mean it.
take a look at my books, please. Scott will hopefully say something good about them now, but he's.
I might do, depending on what I'm reading. They are very good, as is Ben's channel.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming back on board.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Back on the side. So anyway, guys, I think we'll finish there. Have a good morning.
Oh, the outro is unreal!
Darn you stole Scott's bit of making
Again,
elbow.
Ben.
Have a good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are
I'm on
in the
strike.
world. This uniquely for this episode, the sound you hear is Scott. I don't know. Ready Player One. I don't know. Stepping on Ben in a Mecha Godzilla. and that's that. So Ben has stolen two things in twice. First he stole this channel last week.
Just
And
'cause
now
he
he's
doesn't have a
stolen-
catchphrase.
And now not last week, 2 weeks ago. And now this week he stole the Scott's catchphrase. How much do you want, Scott? Ben, you took the Oasis. You took everything today.
You took everything
Goodbye.
from me.
Goodbye, everyone.